Okay, so I decided to make a Kerbal space program Let's Play. And since career mode is newly implemented and is a bit more of a challenge, I decided I'm going to do a career mode Let's Play game, starting from the beginning. Totally stock KSP 22. Well, 0.22. So, you want to get science to advance the tech tree in career mode. So you're not allowed to just build whatever you want. You have very limited parts. But it's easy to get your first little bit of science without even doing much. Like, you just launch a command pod, and you can get a crew report and an EVA report and you can take a surface sample and then recover the vessel. And that alone gets you 16 science, see? So you can go to the tech center and unlock the first one, which only requires 5. But it's not quite enough to unlock any of the next tier. So, come here. But you can do essentially all of the same thing, well, except for the surface sample, in a vehicle which has in flight. However, recovering a vehicle from flight is extra science anyway. So if we adjust our staging, and we'll call this the then we'll launch this. Now you can do the crew report now. But it's not a good idea to do EVA report while under flight. So now that the solid rocket's boosted out, we can separate. Get a little more altitude, maybe. Turn on SAS, the reaction control, keep the pod stable. We may be able to do EVA now. Ooh, dear. Nope, we should have waited till the chute was open. Somehow we got a large amount of vertical. Okay, this flight's gonna be a failure. Now, since poor Jebediah is gonna go splat, we can't even. Yes, there we go. We will revert to launch. See? Suppose one should take their lumps, but do some kind of hardcore science career mode mission. If you want to see that, go watch Scott Manley's KSP Interstellar video series. It's actually the inspiration for this. He's doing it with a ton of mods, which add realism and difficulty. Other than Interstellar, he's trying to get Warp unlocked eventually. So, right, we're going to wait this time. Do the EVA when it's relatively safe. I'm not sure when exactly that would be. I have done this particular mission before. As a matter of fact, I started this whole series while my video capture system was not set up properly. And successfully did it with only minimal drifting of Jebediah, so well, we've begun free fall, so there we go. Now let's see if Jebediah can he cannot reach it. This is going very badly. Indeed. Alright. Okay, well that's certainly not an alternative. I'm not sure how I managed to get EVA from flight before. Maybe the trick is to wait till our speed is close to 0. So we're going to do that. Vertical speed is fairly significant right now, so we shouldn't get out. But it should be dropping now that the rocket power is reduced. Probably better to have the ship stable while we do this. Up. Overshot top of our arc, but we'll do this real quickly. Okay, so you just have to grab on as soon as you get out. And do an EVA report. And then go on board. Now we can separate and deploy the parachute. Now, since we got a long slow drift down, might as well time accelerate. However, chutes deploy at about 500 meters. However, if you're under time acceleration, physical time acceleration, sometimes chute deployment does not work so well. So you want to slow down to 1x at the 500 meter mark, and then you can speed back up again. There is a mod which will do this automatically. I'm running no mods, but I am tempted to apply that one just because it's... Whoa, whoa, whoa! Almost hit the building. Alright, there we go. Now we recover the vessel. We get a lot of science. Now, the question is, what do we want for our next mission? I personally like stability. But for some reason we don't have the science to do it. Last time I had the science to do it. What did I not get? I seem to be missing some of our reports. Which is a bit annoying. Oh well. Okay, so now we've successfully flown. We can launch a basic suborbital space flight with this here rocket here. It's not sufficient delta V to get into an orbit. But it will get you into space, which is a different environment, and so you can do science there for more points. Plus, I believe landing a suborbital vessel also gets you points. It's pretty basic. Throttle her up and fire. I'm thinking I should adopt a no reverts policy. Not a strict no reverts policy, because sometimes there's weird things that you really can't just be like, oh, well, that, you should live with your mistakes, because I've had vessels that weird things happen, like, well, if you forget to, sometimes the staging ends up dumb, or I've had vessels where engines just fell off. So I think a few test flights might be okay. Of course, adopting better abort procedures might be, I don't know. Okay, I'm starting my gravity turn a bit late. You should start your gravity turn about 10,000. I got rambling on about reverts and ended up starting mine at about 12. I like a gravity turn of about 35 degrees. Head straight equatorial, that's 90 on the nav ball. And you should get pretty good into space. As I said, there's insufficient delta V on this rocket to circularize your orbit, so I didn't bother stopping when my aphelion was around 1,000 or 100,000. I'm just gonna go into space. We'll do some time acceleration. right up until we reach 70,000. Then we slow it down and throttle down the ship so we can time accelerate out into space. I don't think we're going to get high altitude, though. This will be considered a low Kerbal orbit. Well, it's suborbital, but if it were an orbit, it'd be low Kerbal. So we're going to do our science at aphelion just for fun of it, because, hey, it's like... Okay, so now we have manned spaceflight height record. We'll get a crew report and keep that. And, oh yeah, send Jeb out on EVA. Get an EVA report and keep that. And then get back on board. And, prepare for re-entry. So we will separate from the booster and put our heat shield towards the retrograde direction. Not that it matters, because re-entry isn't really implemented in stock KSP, but it looks cool anyway. Now if we turn off... Ooh, tumbling! But I believe once we hit the atmosphere we should... No? Yeah, there we go. It's a good thing to turn stability off anyway, because once you launch your chute, it just kind of jiggles at the end of the chute in a way that looks really unrealistic. Okay, chute deployment. And then we can time accelerate again. See, if you turn it on... Oh, now it's not doing it, but... That's what I'm talking about. I don't know if the stresses will actually do anything to your vehicle, but it looks dumb. Now we cover this one. Now let's see if we got all of the reports. We should have an EVA report, a crew report, and recovery of a suborbital vessel. Okay, there we go. Apparently I missed some on some of those early ones. You should be able to get a crew report, an EVA report, and a surface sample from the ground test. Your early flight test should get you an EVA report. You have to do it at about free fall, though, otherwise you will lose your dude. A crew report, and recovery of a vessel after a successful flight. Those reports will all be on Kerbal's shores or launch pad, whatever. There are other biomes. You can actually get a lot of science without ever leaving the planet, or even leaving the ground. However, without rover technology, you would not be able to travel very far unless you fly by rocket or on foot. So, you know, the whole planetary exploration thing, you may want to get some science. But, so that's the first 3 flights. We unlocked quite a bit of science. Not bad for 3 flights. I did revert that one quite a few times, but I shouldn't have. The first time I did it, which, as I said, didn't video cap, everything went good. So, this concludes episode 1.